This building is the former building of the Judenrat in the Lublin ghetto, and it was also a building that was used for social services in the ghetto and for other forms of help, such as the orphanage, which was based here. When the Nazis occupied Lublin on the 19th of September 1939, there already existed a form of Judenrat, if you like. It was the Jewish community had its own representatives, and the Nazis just used the same representatives to continue. So you had the head, who was Henrik Becker, who was an engineer, and you had two people who were deputy heads, Marek Alton, who was a lawyer, and the other person had a sort of a stationery business. That was quite a well-known businessman in the town, and these people were forced to continue doing what they'd done before. Now, as far as Henrik Becker is concerned, everybody seems to have only positive things to say about him, whereas in the case of Marek Alton, it's a bit mixed. I think with him it's a case that he was an Austrian. He served in the Austrian army in the First World War, and he was decorated in the First World War, and I think that he thought he was just dealing with fellow Austrians, because most of the Nazis here were in fact Austrians, but that wasn't the way that they saw it. Of course, they saw him as a Jew and nothing else. So we have the minutes of the Judenrat session of the 30th of March 1942, which met at around 2 in the afternoon, 1400, and then the Judenrat was reduced from 24 members to 12, and those members who were no longer in the Judenrat were to be evacuated immediately, although it was written that Henrik Becker would continue to occupy a position of importance in where he was going. I don't think he was actually fooled, because when he went to the deportation train that evening, he didn't take any luggage with him, and he had some ritual clothing on, presumably his prayer shawl, maybe had phylacteries, I don't know, and he took that with him. Maybe he was forced to do it, or maybe he knew he was going to his death, so there was no point in carrying a heavy suitcase there. The Judenrat itself, when it was taken to the ghetto in Maidan Tatarsky, when all the inhabitants of here were forced there, that effectively was the end of it. Marek Alton and the chief of the police and one Shmuel Graya, who was a businessman, I say that word very lightly because he was seen to be a collaborator and a person previously, before the war, he'd been supposedly a barber, but he had in fact run a brothel, and he was one who became very wealthy out of the Nazi occupation. That did him any good, because he was shot in Maidan Tatarsky on the 9th of November 1942. Same fate came to the children from the orphanage here, loaded onto trucks, and they were actually shot just outside the town.